Welcome back to Solo Adventures! My name is Livy and I'm here yet again with another BGG Solitaire Contest game review. So the game we're going to be looking at today is Heist, a game about breaking into a museum to steal a priceless gem that can be played with just a simple normal deck of playing cards. So as usual, if you're not interested in actually watching me play this game, you can feel free to skip to the end to hear my final thoughts. Otherwise, let's crack into it. So the way by which I'm going to play Heist right now is a little different than what the designer intended, but my camera isn't far enough back to capture the hugeness that would be the grid of cards that I would have to make. So you need to make a grid of 7 by 7 cards. And at the beginning of the game, you would lay them all out like that, 7 by 7. But since we're playing in a more compact fashion, I can just draw my cards here and we'll see where we go from there. So in order to set up, what you need to do is you need to take all the kings out of the deck and shuffle them up. And set the others aside. I'll put them there. And stick the king in and shuffle it up pretty good. And then we get to start with One Passcode, and this will allow us to disable some of the traps that we will encounter. If you hear some clicking in the background, that is my husband. I hope it doesn't annoy you too much, but I have been filming literally all day and the poor man just wants to play some video games, so I hope you can be understanding. He's playing Hades, which is made by the same people who made Bastion, and it looks super cool. So we start with One Passcode, and we have our deck nice and shuffled. So this represents the museum. Normally we would have a 7 by 7 grid of cards. And by the way, I did not come up with this myself. I blatantly stole this idea from the One Player YouTube channel, who also did a demo of this game and came up with this great idea. I just laminated it so it would be reusable. So in this museum we have doors and windows. The corners and the middle spaces are doors and windows. So the middle spaces are doors and the corner spaces are windows. And we're going to try to figure out where our starting spot is. So the object of the game is to sneak into the museum and attempt to find a valuable jewel. But there are several other fakes that are in the museum as well, so you need to make sure that you have the right one before you can escape through one of these doors or windows. And we need to be very careful because the floors have pressure plates which determine which way we can go, and there's security dogs named jackals, which are the jacks, and queens, which are quick exit something, which I can't remember what that stands for, but it teleports you out of the museum. So let's see what we have here. So we have a 3 of spades, and you can figure out which direction you're allowed to go based on the direction of the cards. So as you can see, there's 1 spade pointing that way and 2 spades going that way. And so normally this would mean that we can only go this way. Since this is a 1 through 10, we can start here, but we cannot step on this square again, and if we could, it could only go south. And I intended to move that direction, and we have a queen. She immediately teleports me out of the museum. So that is a queen of spades. You like my spade. So now we're teleported out of the museum and we need to try to sneak in through the other windows. So let's try this door. And it's a 6 of diamonds. So as you can see, there are 4 points on the diamond that point north, south, east, and west. So that means that we can go north, south, east, or west. And I'm gonna go north. The twos The 2s, the 4s, and the 10s are special. If you get one of these, then that means you get an additional passcode. So I get the other one. You can have a maximum of 2 in this game. And since it's basically the same number of symbols pointing in each direction, I can decide which way I want to go. So I will go one of these 2 ways. Let's go this way. Ace. So this is a jewel, but we do not know if it's a real jewel or if it isn't. So let's check its authenticity. So we have an ace of diamonds. Let's see if it matches. Oh, king of spades. Nope. So this is not an authentic diamond. We will have to keep looking. But we can still go in any of these 4 directions. And I will go north. So we have the 7 of spades and the majority are pointing that way, so that means that we can only go north. Here we have a 4 of clubs. Now, as you can see, clubs have 3 branches, so that also means that we can head in basically 2 different orientations of the 3-branch direction. So we could go that way, or we could go this way. And these go either way, so I can decide. I will go this way. And here we have a jack. In German it's called a Bube, which is why there's a B, but in any case I can disable him with one of my passcodes. And now he is just a harmless diamond. And I meant to go that way, and that's another jack. And I lost my last passcode. So that's not good. But I disabled him so I can decide which way I want to go. Maybe I want to go... We can go this way. Eight of spades, we can only go north. Now we have to be careful because we might get stuck here now that we're next to the wall. So we have the 3 of diamonds, which is extremely lucky because we can go whichever way we want. Let's go this way. And a 4 of diamonds. We'll go that way, and we also get a passcode back. A 2 of clubs. Go that way, and we get the other passcode. Eight of clubs. This one points north, so that means that we could go any of these directions. And this is a dead end because we can't step on any place where we've already been, so we'll go this way. 7 of clubs. I'll go there. 7 of diamonds. 5 of clubs facing upward. So the only direction we can go is here. And we have a queen. We are immediately ejected out of the museum. And that's probably okay because we might have gotten stuck against this wall anyhow. That is a queen of clubs. Beautiful club. Which window should we try to sneak in next? Maybe this one? So we have a 5 of hearts. And we can start here, but since the hearts are going mostly this way, here we go. We'll go here. 6 of hearts. And we could only go one of these directions. So we would be stuck. However, we do have a cool tool to use. We can use a zip line. Oh wait, we cannot use a zip line because we could only go this way or this way. So let's just pretend, let's just cheat a little bit so we can play a little longer. Normally I would have to lose here. But let's say that heart went in the other direction. So I could zipline to the next card that is face down. And in this case, I think we can also zipline to a wall, if I'm not wrong. So we can zipline just there, and that costs us a joker. What did we land on? We landed on hearts going this way. So yeah, I guess we are stuck because we can't zipline that way or this way. And yeah, that's our last passcode. So that was Heist. We were not successful, but let's talk about this game. So that was Heist. What are my thoughts on this game? So the build for this game is non-existent if you play it as the instructions tell you to. You only need a deck of 52 playing cards. You will need to make sure that your deck of cards is standard in that you have all of the hearts and diamonds and clubs that are situated in such a way that you can tell which way is up and which way is down on the cards. Now, you can of course play with the whole 7x7 card grid, and maybe that's initially easier or faster to do, but personally I think that even though I do have the space to play the game with cards properly, I think I prefer having this smaller, more compact format of using wet erase markers on a laminated sheet. So whether you use the card grid method or if you use the method that the one player YouTube channel first proposed, that's up to you. I personally will go forward with playing with the grid. So what did I like about this game? Well, something I like about this game is just related to the fact that I like making maps. I like drawing maps, I like rolling for random dungeon maps. I like making maps and I find it really fun and relaxing. There's something that's really pleasant about discovering which way the path turns and trying to figure out which way I want to go next. I also think that using a marker is a little bit better in seeing at a glance where you could have gone and where you did end up going. So there is that benefit of actually physically drawing out the directions on your grid. I like the suspense of wondering what's going to pop up next, and do you have the right passkey to disable the robot dogs. And I think that's really clever how there are robot dogs and teleporting queens. That's just cool. I like it. It's got that whole sci-fi spy movie kind of feel, and it's great. Even the whole like museum with pressure plates and crazy traps is just so Hollywood. I don't think there's any museum in the world that has the level of security that museums and movies have. But this really gives you that kind of feeling. I like trying to figure out at the beginning like which window or door you can get through. Kind of feels like you're going and you're peeking and you're sneaking around and kind of checking to see like which lock is easiest to pick. I also like the idea that there are counterfeit gems, that you have to examine the gem very carefully to find out if it's the real deal before you can escape with it. So even if while you are trying to find a way through the window, even if you turn over an ace, you won't know if that is the right gem. There's something that's kind of neat that you didn't get to see. If you draw the king out of the draw deck, the one that you shuffled in. He represents like a security guard or something, and if you meet him, then you need to have a passkey, or you just fail. But even if you have a passkey, you basically explode the spot where the guy is, and he goes away, but the tile is now like really hot or on fire, and you can no longer move through that square, so you're gonna have to find another way out. That's cool, and another good reason to use markers, in my opinion, because I just draw like a big red X wherever that spot is when it pops up in my games. I like the puzzly feel of this. I like kind of the whole, it's almost a little bit push your luck, trying to figure out, you know, should you go left, should you go right, what's the greater chance of finding the gem. And then there is, of course, whether you want to use your passkey or not, and whether you want to use it to zipline, which is so funny and thematic and dramatic that you can just zipline through the air to another unexplored space. If you want the ultimate high score at the end, you also have to zipline out the window with the gem once you find it, so making a dramatic exit definitely has its perks score-wise. So what didn't I like about this game? Well, I don't know if I don't like it exactly, but this game, of course, does have elements of luck, and it can have quite a lot of luck involved in it. Because, of course, the cards are shuffled randomly, and so sometimes you are just gonna be really unlucky, and every path you find just ends really fast. Sometimes there's really not much you can do. Since you can't go back and trace your steps, it's really kind of a crapshoot sometimes which direction you're pushing forward. People might also find the teleporting queens a little bit annoying, since there's really no way to not trigger them. You can't use a passkey on them because they act too quickly and you don't have a chance to react, so you will automatically just be teleported outside the museum. For me personally, I don't mind it that much, because oftentimes when I get teleported out by a queen, that gives me a chance to kind of regroup and walk around the museum and try to go through a window or door that I haven't been through yet, and the whole like getting teleported out actually helps me in some cases. Of course, getting teleported out with the jewel would be too easy, so after you get the jewel, all of the queens kind of deactivate and then they become robot dogs. Yeah, unfortunately, you can't just find a queen space and then miraculously get out. So print and play games for me have kind of a different criteria with rating them than I do for like normal retail games. And that's partly because A, they're usually free, and B, you have to build them. So in the case of a print and play game, I rate it pretty much based on the bang for your buck, so to speak. How is the gameplay versus the amount of time that it takes to play it and the amount of time that it takes to build it? And I think in that respect, Heist is extremely good. Heist has a lot of bang for its buck, because you really don't have to build anything at all if you don't want to. You can just play with any old deck of 52 cards. I think this is an easy game that you could even teach kids, and it's just a fun thing to do when you have nothing else to do and you just have a deck of cards. It's a good alternative to just playing Klondike Solitaire, provided you have a table that is large enough, and I will not understate this, it takes a decent amount of space. The amount of time to set up is a snap. Using a dry erase or wet erase board might be even faster because you don't have to pick up all the cards, you can just wipe off the marker and start again. This game has a lot of randomness, and it has a lot of things that are outside of your control, but I really don't mind it that much because this game is just so easy to start again. I also like that you can try to beat your high score. The more false gems that you pick up, the higher your score is, and then of course if you zipline out the window, you also get additional points. So I like how if you already have beaten this game a few times, you can try to push on a little bit farther and see if you can find all the gems. So something that's a little bit weird in this game is that the gem is called the Pearl of Great Price. And I'm not entirely sure, but I think that's something that has to do with like Mormonism, or it's in the Bible or something. I don't know. Maybe the designer just picked it because it sounded cool, but yeah, if I'm not wrong, I think the Pearl of Great Price is some kind of Mormon text or something. But yeah, it's not bad, it's just a little unusual, I think, or it's a bit strange. So, should you play this game? Yes, a resounding yes. Pretty much everybody has a deck of 52 playing cards lying around, so there's really no reason not to try this. Just give it a shot and see if it's for you. I had fun with it, and I think I'll be coming back to this game from time to time when I just want a quick, fast little filler, or when I have nothing else but a deck of cards with me. It's not the most strategic game, but it doesn't need to be. It's fast, it's fun, it feels like a spy movie. I think it's great. So, 2 thumbs up for me. Thank you so much for watching. If you haven't already, please subscribe, and if you want to help support the channel, you can check me out on Patreon. My patrons get to find out what videos I will be posting next before anybody else does. If you're interested, you can also check out the Facebook page for Solo Adventurers, the page for all things solo gaming. So until next time, friends, keep on adventuring.